here I am for my Q&A live stream. I'm going to go ahead and hang out for a few minutes to let people get in here and let the room fill up. But good to see there's 6 folks here so far. What's up, Tim? That guy in the picture looks like Alien. Huh. I guess I could see that a little bit. I don't know. But that person in the picture is Spyder. And go ahead and position that a little better. Yeah, the person in the picture is Spyder, and it was a screen capture from the video I took. I'll just go ahead and say, like, it's been a very emotional, 4 months. When I found out about all this, I was in New Mexico, obviously, and it was like a week went by that we couldn't say anything to anyone because there was family that needed to be notified first before, Facebook is notified and all the rumor mill started. So, I just had to sit on my feelings for a week and until we could make it public. And I knew it was important that it was Shannon and I who made it public. Shannon on Facebook, me on YouTube, because we were the 2 closest people to Spyder. So it was better that it came from us instead of the rumor mill. Let's catch up on comments a little bit. What's up, Cole? Medzetta, Stacy, good to see you guys. Raven, good job, buddy. What's up, dude? What's up, Alaska and Mac? Yeah, I just saw Mac down at here in Slab, so it's good to see you again, Mac. Hey, Crystal, Red Baron. I know you guys. Deanna, Paint, Dave Lowe. There's my admin. Y'all, first of all, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart, and I want to say thank you for all the donations that I have gotten. It's been really generous, and all the kind words that you guys have sent to me, and you've asked me to relay to the family. It means the world to me. And I gotta say, one of the things that it just makes me so sad that so many people, mostly women, but so many people, dozens of people have come up to me and told me that they are appreciative of what I did because they're survivors themselves. And that's so sad to me. It makes me so sad that it's so common. Unfortunately, obviously it's a very small percentage of the population who does things like that. But I've just had so many people come up to me and say the similar things, that they're survivors and they wish they had someone like me when they were young, and that just breaks my fucking heart, honestly. So, it is what it is. The admin owes me a hot dog for my chili. Oh yeah, tonight is chili night at the Ponderosa, and we are up and running. We have the Boondockers Bash is in Slabs right now. So that's cool. We got, hopefully some people coming through. We've had some of them come in and say hi. So it is, still good times out here. Still fun to be had. Let's see. Yeah, Medzetta does help with the algorithm. So anybody that wants to go smash that like button, I really appreciate it. Looks like we got 34 people in here. So I kind of want to start by telling you what motivated me to do this. Obviously, because he's a bad guy and he should be caught and he shouldn't be free. But why did I do this? Why? I was sitting there. I was right after I got back to Slabs, and I was sitting there with the family, the victim, and I remember the victim saying, "I sure wish I could watch him get arrested." And the thoughts of the ideas that came to my head is maybe we can pull body cam footage if they have body cam. Not all police officers do, but we won't know where he was arrested at. But that moment I'm sitting there like, maybe I can give you that. Maybe I could. Maybe I can give her that piece. Like, I can't take away what happened. I can't pull her pain out of her and just keep it for myself. Because I would. Like, all of us would, right? Wouldn't we? I think most of us would do that for the people we loved. But I, um, I could try to get her a video of him being arrested. I can't tell you how we found him because it has to do with some people's privacy who don't want to be named or involved, but we did get a good tip, a solid tip that it was him. He was in Sacramento. We knew about the area he was in or whatever, so it just seemed like it might be possible. It just seemed like it might be possible to go up to Sacramento and find him. And so the idea spiraled, and at one point we found out that he was watching my YouTube channel. So if you noticed, I basically ghosted all of you. Like, I didn't post anything really of substance, knowing full well that he was watching him. I didn't want him to get updates on my life, on the Ponderosa, on his family or his victim. He didn't deserve that, so I didn't do any videos. And I know I was getting a lot of messages from people like, hey, I missed your videos. Hey, you should do a Bottle Kids video. Hey, like, what's an update on Spyder? Hey, I heard he was arrested. And I just didn't respond to any of it because I knew he was watching. I didn't want to give him anything. So I did have to talk to a couple of you, my sponsors, on like a hush-hush, like, hey, I need some gas money to make this happen. Some of you were very generous and helped out, and we were still short. I decided to borrow a friend's car because it was better on gas. He wouldn't recognize it. And I was gonna leave before Thanksgiving, but then the car broke down, and I was dead in the water. Like, I was wanting to take away both holidays from him, and instead the car broke down. And thankfully, Dave Lowe, my moderator in here, had that thing fixed like in a hurry, like in a jiffy. It was all taken care of. I don't know if I'm missing comments. They're not really loading, but that's okay. In any case, we got the car fixed. I decided to spend Thanksgiving here at home, around friends. I had a really good meal, but then we pulled the trigger on the plan, and I drove up to Sacramento not knowing how it was gonna go. You know, if I'd find him, if I'd spook him. Like, you guys saw my video, that was one of the things I was really, really concerned about, was spooking him and him finding out we were on his trail and him just disappearing and vanishing. I know for a fact that if someone goes underground, and Spyder doesn't drive, so it's very unlikely he would ever have a police interaction that required his identification unless he had broken a law or something. So it could have been years. It could have been absolute years before he was arrested, and his victim, like, I knew he wouldn't just walk through our doors, but the victim was obviously knew that he could. And I think that is really upsetting her, and the fact that he was free and just living the life that he wanted to live. So off I went. I get to the hotel that we suspected he was staying at, and I was trying to find a spot near the hotel that I could park and see the hotel and just kind of do a stakeout and watch and see. But I mean, I was a little anxious to find him, I think. So I walked up, and the hotel was real small. It wasn't a big place. All the doors on the hotel were on the outside, so it wasn't like it would have been hard to find him. But I was walking through, and some kid, like 20-year-old kid, stops me as I'm walking past him, and he's like, "Hey man, you got $2?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And then I was like, "Oh wait, I might have $2. Do you know this guy?" And showed him my phone, and he's like, "No, I don't know him." But he's like, "But hey, uncle," and calls this uncle over here, and this uncle is just this big Hispanic dude, bandana, like, thug life kind of guy, and I'm just like, oh fuck, and I gotta walk up to this dude, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, hey man, like, I'm from Southern California, I'm looking for this dude, this is what he did, and he's like, that dude did that? I'm like, that dude did that, and he's like, room 45, and then he starts walking over there to room 45, where we knew Spyder was, and he told me that he had just been in, he told me Spyder had gone in there like an hour ago. And he starts walking over there, I think, to, do what so many people want to do. And I'm like, hold up, hold up, hold up. And I'm like, he's got a warrant out for his arrest. The police are coming. And you guys might want to dip. Or I was like, if you need to dip, go ahead and dip. And he's like, that's what's up. And he walks inside his room and closes the door. And then you saw the video of me calling the police. I made sure that the police knew that when he left with his firearms, which is an absolute true story. He left here, took his guns with him. When the bus broke down, he took almost nothing except for his guns. So that worried a lot of us. So I let the police know that, and then they responded appropriately, didn't they? Like, they, basically had SWAT team and stuff, and I'm sitting there recording the raid, and it was taking a long time. They had surrounded the room, spotlight on the room. They had the neighbors come out of the room, and then they had they even put tape up. They cordoned off half of the hotel, and we were sitting there waiting for the door to open. Apparently, what happened is they called him, and they were like, "Come out with your hands up. Come out peacefully with your hands up." And he was like, "I'm at work." And apparently, that guy that told me what room he was in was wrong about him being home like an hour before that. While we were waiting, like the raid was happening, some other dude walked past me that almost looked exactly like Spyder, a little bit heavier set, but almost exactly like him, enough like him that where I did like a triple take to see if it was him. So maybe that's the guy that they saw. I'm not sure, but he wasn't there. And the deputy comes over to me. He's like, "Do you know where he works?" And I'm like, "No." And the guy next to me, the guy that told me what room he was in, he'd come out to watch the raid. He's like, "I know where he works." And he tells me that he was working at this truck stop called 49ers Cafe in Sacramento. And the deputy's like, "Jet over there and see if you can find him." And I was parked like a block away, and I'm like, I'm a block away, but I'll go now. And I hauled ass over there. It's a 10-minute drive. I hauled ass over there. It's a 10-minute drive, and I walk in. I talk to an employee. They go looking for him, and poof, he's gone. He's gone. I just missed him. 5 minutes, maybe. Just missed him. So I knew he was in the area somewhere. So I just started driving around looking for him. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he had gotten away. I couldn't believe that, I found him so fast, and I was so excited, and all this excitement, and the raid, and you guys saw the video. They had AR-15s. They were putting their Kevlars on, full body armor. Like, they weren't fucking around, and he got away. Like, I can't tell you how deflating that was. Like, the whole raid, everyone here was listening to the scanner in Sacramento, listening to the raid, and they were first, the deputy in person said that he was at work. Then dispatch called me and asked if they knew where he worked, and then people in slabs were hitting me up like, "I guess he's at work," and I'm like, "I'm already on my way there," and he was just in the wind. And that was what I was worried about, right? Like, spooking him was like the biggest concern I had, and the police response was the second biggest concern I had. Like, were they going to take me seriously? Which they did, thankfully. Like, tip my hat to the West Sacramento Police Department. He may not have been there, but they were operating off the information that we had, and they did a really good job, and they're really professional. So, yeah, like, I actually reached out to the officer I was in touch with during that raid, and gave him my thanks. But he was gone, and we were back to square one. Where is he now? So I just started beating the streets again. We knew that he was at a homeless shelter prior to going to the hotel. That's where we had been told that he was staying. So I just, that morning, woke up, went to the homeless shelter, and just started talking to, the video where I sent, in the video where you saw those tents, like that's where I was. And I was walking around that area, putting his picture out there, and he was spotted that morning taking a shower. So I knew I was on his heels. I knew I was right on his heels, and he's on the run, and I'm just got to catch him in the right moment, like getting cigarettes or something like that. But all that day, I looked all over for him, and the only information I had by the end of that day was that I knew where he had taken a shower that morning. So it was just a lot of tears and disappointment, because it was going to be harder to find him now that he's not in his habits and he's not comfortable and he knows that they're after him. I was like this close to just giving up. We didn't know if he was even in Sacramento anymore. We were this close to giving up. And, I decided that maybe I should come home. Maybe this is a bust and it was a bad idea. And then I went back to the truck stop because it was the only place I knew that I could fall asleep, and it was a truck stop, so they wouldn't leave me. They would leave me alone. I could sleep comfortably in that area, and I'd be okay. And I was sitting there editing the video, and while I was editing it, I'm sitting there and it's dark, and I see somebody walk past me, just right in front of the car I was sitting in, that looked like him. And I was like, you can't be this easy. It can't be this easy, because he's just walking right in front of me now. So I get out, and I had some distance between me and this person because I didn't want them to like spot me. And so I was just following them into the truck stop. And as soon as they went in there, I was in there very shortly after. Lost them, ghosted, gone. I looked everywhere. I looked in the bathrooms. I looked in the restaurant. I looked in the shower area, the truck lounge, just gone. Which I'm now convinced that was Spyder, and he was back in the employees area. So while I'm looking for this person who I think is Spyder, I go out back to the employee smoking area, and there's this little old man smoking there, and I was like, hey man, you work here? And he's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, has Rodney come back yet? Or has Rodney come back? And he's like, Rodney has been terminated. And I'm like, yes, I know, but has he come back today? And as we were talking, this guy and I, turns out this is Spyder's roommate. This is Spyder's roommate who was sharing a hotel with him, who was actually there during the raid and got pulled out in handcuffs, which I missed all that because I went to Spyder's work looking for him and started driving around. But he was there, and he didn't know what Spyder had done. He said that, it was, he was told by Spyder it was something petty. And I was like, no, the police didn't tell you what he did. And he was like, no, they wouldn't tell me what he did. They were like, you can Google it, it's all online, you can Google it, it's all online. So when I talked to him, I told him what he did, and this old man seemed like, he was like that asshole, this, that, and the other, and he agreed to help me find Spyder that night. He was like, I was supposed to meet up with Spyder when I got off work and bring him his stuff. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I've got another lead. Like, he's not in the wind. He's still in the area. Now I know he's in Sacramento. Like, I'm not fucking done yet. I'm not done yet. And I had been talking to the family, updates the whole time. This is happening. That is happening. And right before this, we were talking about maybe I should just head home. Maybe I should just come back. And then I was like, no, I have another lead. I'm not done yet. So the roommate agreed to help me out and help me get Spyder. And I was like, he doesn't even have to know you're involved. I just want to follow you to where he's sleeping, and then I'll take care of the rest, man. Like, you can just bounce. You guys won't even know I'm there. I waited. It was early. The guy was off work in like 5 or 6 hours. And so I waited. 5 hours went by. 6 hours went by. He was supposed to be off at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock comes and goes. 11 o'clock comes and goes. 12 o'clock comes and goes. I'm looking all over the truck stop. Can't find the guy anywhere. Can't find him. He's gone. Roommate ghosted me, I think. I get into my car, and maybe the vehicle I was watching wasn't his. maybe I was watching the wrong vehicle and he's already at the hotel grabbing Spyder's stuff. So I haul ass over to the hotel. And I wait there until like 2 in the morning. And that's when you heard like the gunshots going off. And then the roommate, he's not there either. You know, he doesn't show up. It's pushing like 2:30 in the morning. I'm tired. I go get some food. I decide to go crash at the truck stop and try again the next day and beat the streets the next day to see if I can find him. So I go to the truck stop and I'm just like deflated all over again. You know, like I had this lead. I thought I was going to get him tonight and I didn't. And I was just, it was just like very, very emotional, you know, like I was so close I could taste it. And I decided to jump in the shower, take a shower. And, you know, I'm not a religious person. I like to believe that I am an I don't knowist. I don't know. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if it's karma. I don't know if it's chaos. I don't know how to explain this part of the story, though. I like to think I'm a logical person. I like to think that I rely a lot on evidence and what can be explained through measuring, testing. I don't know. I'm a very scientific, logical person. But I took a shower that night, and I'm in the shower, and I'm like, just feeling a bit hopeless about the whole thing because he's now gotten away from me twice. 3 times if you count the shower that I just barely missed him taking a shower. And I'm just in the shower and I'm like, I don't know if I'm just talking to the walls here or if there is something out there that's listening, but I need help. I need fucking help. Like I can't do this on my own. Like I need help because this isn't even for me. This is for his victim and for any other victims that he might create if he's left free to do whatever he wants. You know, and then I kind of left it at that. I haven't prayed since I was a kid, I don't think, but that might have been the closest to praying I've ever gotten as an adult. And then the next morning I woke up. I planned on going back to the area where the homeless shelter was to see if I can find him catching a shower there in the morning or coffee or whatever. And I set an alarm. And I had only gotten like 3 or maybe like 4 or 5 hours of sleep in the last 2 nights. So like I got a couple hours of sleep that night. But I slept through my alarm. I was so tired. I didn't even hear it. I slept right through it. I was planning on waking up at like 5 and leaving the truck stop, going to the homeless shelter and waiting there. And I slept through it. I woke up at like 7 and I was like, damn it. Like how something that important, I just slept through the alarm. And I was like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom and I'm wiping sleepies out of my eyes and I walk into the truck stop and guess who's walking out when I walked in? Man, we walked past, he was walking out, I was walking in, and we locked eyes. Like, and it took me a second to recognize him because he looked different. He'd shaved and he had been sleeping outside since the raid on his motel room. But he recognized me and he knew I recognized him. It took me a second, but I did. And then he looks at the ground and he's like, hey, Zig. And I'm like, hi, Spyder. Let's go have a conversation. And he, you know, his eyes were darting around. As soon as we walked outside, his eyes were darting around like he was going to take off somewhere. And he's a tall guy. I mean, he's 56 years old. He's old, but he's tall. Those legs. He was thinking about running, looking for an escape. And I told him straight up, if you run, I will fuck you up. And then he looked at the ground and he's like, I'm not going to run. And then I just chewed his ass like an infant, like a little ass kid for a couple of minutes. You know, and I was like, how the, fuck could you do this? I had a heart attack 2 weeks after I found out about this. You broke my fucking heart. I fucking loved you. Like, how dare you? All this stuff. And, he's like, I'm going to turn myself in, Zig. I was going to turn myself in. And I'm like, let me help you with that. And I pull out my phone. And he starts basically begging me not to call the police. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And I'm like, I'm doing that. And I get on the phone, call 911. And he's like, will you please give me a ride to Imperial County? He wanted me to give him a ride back down here because he said, oh, extraditing me is going to be a pain in the ass. And I'm on the phone with 911. I'm like, I'm not doing you any fucking favors, Spyder. And I was like, I need an officer and blah. And that's when I think he knew, like, I'm done. He's done. That's it. And he was like, I did him 2 favors, as a matter of fact. I sat there. I was like, I told him, I'm not doing you any fucking favors. I'm like, or no, I was like, I'm not doing you any fucking favors, Spyder, unless you want to go throw anything you have on you right now, go throw it away. And he was like, I don't do drugs, Zig, you know that. And I was like, I don't fucking know you, Spyder. And I don't think he heard me. Because he said, what? And I was like, I don't fucking know you, Spyder. I don't know you, dude. I don't know what you are. And we sat and waited for 20 minutes for the police to show up. You caught a piece of that conversation. I heavily edited that part because most of it's going to the DA. But, you know, it's... A lot of people think that I should have hurt him. A lot of people think I should have hurt him, and it took me a lot to not. It took me everything I had in me to just not hurt him, because he hurt me, and he hurt people I care about, and he hurt someone like my friends and their children, and it's just... But he was already defeated. He was done. He lost. He's sitting there as a shell of a human, exposed to the whole world. It was pathetic, and at that point, hitting him, there was no glory in it. There was no winning in it for me. It would have been, it wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have felt good about it. I wouldn't have, even though I was so angry. And so many of you would have, completely understandable, and I wouldn't even have stopped you, but this was somebody I respected, I cared about, and to be honest with you, it was pitiful. It was pitiful that, you know, like, this was somebody I liked, right? Like, I looked up to in some ways, some of the things he did, but I respected. I didn't want this for him, you know, and he was a flawed person. Barring this, he was a flawed person. And I knew he was flawed. I didn't know how deeply he was flawed, but I knew he was flawed, and we're all flawed. And I kind of tried to look past some of his flaws because I didn't want this for him. I wanted him to be a better person. I didn't want him to destroy his own life, much less his family's life. And just seeing him, there was nothing I could do for him at that point. There was no friendly comment I could make or help I could give him. He's done. And there was nothing I could do for him, and there was nothing I wanted to do for him. The other favor I gave him is... You saw this in the video. I stepped out of his sunlight. I was standing in his sunlight that whole time for most of that video. And it was very cold. And I was like, I'll give you your last few minutes in the sun. And I stepped out of his sunlight, and I gave him some sun, and he sat there like a lizard until the police showed up. And I don't know if I even should have given him that. Like, I don't know if he even deserved that. But I'm still a human being. And even though he's barely won, I've still got my morals about me. So that's the first half of this live stream. I wanted to go through kind of a commentary of the video so you guys could be up to date. Now for the Q&A, obviously I got a lot of comments I gotta go through. I know that you guys are probably, you know, I'm not responding because I wanted to go get all of that out. But let me go through these comments, and I appreciate those of you who have been... I got a couple of donations already, so yeah, appreciate you guys very much. So let's take a look at these comments. Let's see how many questions y'all got for me. Karen Foster, hello Zig, I'm proud of you, young man. Thanks, guys. Are you doing the old chilly night live stream? Not tonight. No, I won't be. I'm gonna take I'm doing this live stream. I think I'm gonna give the Ponderosa a break from cameras in their face and questions and whatever. But just know that the Boondockers Bash is in town right now, so we are expecting a busy chilly night. Hopefully, if you're in the area, come swing by and say hi to us. Doors are always open. Alaska, Zig, I really respect what you did. Many would have done nothing. How you did you handle it emotionally and have to go after a friend? Parts of your last video look like you were breaking. I'm proud of you. Yeah, like Alaska, that's some of you have made that point, and I really appreciate you guys considering me. We had a fuck you spider party at the Ponderosa, and a lot of people showed up. The people in the community who a lot of people showed up, and it was really really hard for me to enjoy it. And a lot of people didn't like spiders, so they had a blast. A lot of people were mad at spiders, so they had a good time. And I tried to have a good time too, but it was, like this was a friend of mine, somebody who looked out for me, somebody who fed me and housed me, and I tutored his kids, and I was a family friend. So it was nice that the community got to celebrate. It was nice that the victim got to celebrate. But for me, it was just a sad day, and it was somber. And I just, like I said before, I didn't want any of this for him. Like, that's not what I wanted for Spyder at all. So thanks, Alaska. Like, thank you for noticing that. I appreciate that, man. It has been hard on me, I gotta admit. Like, the whole drive home was just tears and then laughter and then tears and then laughter, and then it was a 10-hour drive of that. And then I get home, and first, his ex-wife gives me a hug, which was wonderful. She's my best friend. Like, she's been a good friend of mine for so many years, and so like, that was great. But then his victim came out and running and gave me a hug and she gave me a big hug, and I just whispered in her ear that I was like, "You're safe." And then she just started bawling, and I started bawling. We just sat there crying the whole time. But man, that was such a beautiful fucking moment, like, that I could give her that. Like, I'm so happy I could do that for her, because like, she needed that. She needed to know she was safe, that he couldn't walk through those doors. Sorry, guys. Cookie, yeah, did Shannon get her bus back? No, Shannon did not get her bus back. It broke down, and, at the time, all of us were in shock. All of us were in shock. Shannon, most of all, was in shock. So the idea of just the hassle of getting the bus, she went to the bus, she got her stuff off of the bus, and that was the last time she saw the bus. I don't blame her. I don't think she wanted anything to do with the bus. But she's got housing, she's fine, she's safe, and she is surrounded by some of the most amazing people that I know, like some really, really good folks. So Shannon is just honestly killing it. Like, she's dealing with something that she's never had to deal with before, and just doing an amazing job as a friend, as a mother, as a business owner. And she is also surrounded by a really good group of people who are taking care of them. The community as a whole in Slabs has been doing pretty good. There has been some folks who aren't doing so good, and will say awful things to her, harass her when she's trying to get groceries or whatever. But as a whole, the community is coming together to try to give her as much help. But primarily the Ponderosa is just surrounding her with shields and love, because her and that family need it more than any of us. Dave Lowe, Spyder gave it away and Shannon would like it back. I didn't know that. I know at the time maybe that's changed, but if she wants to get the bus back, I think she should absolutely be able to have the bus back. I'm just going through the comments, looking for any questions that anybody wants to ask. How much hot dogs are we putting in the chili? Jesus Christ, dude. That's not that kind of question. I'm glad you didn't hurt him, because it would have hurt you more in the end than him. Yeah, that's probably very true, and I kind of knew that. Like, for those of you who actually do follow my channel and who do know a little bit about me, there are 3 things that I want from my life, and I've said this a lot on my live streams and in some videos. I want my life to be enriching, I want it to be simple, and I want it to be peaceful. Spyder took away my ability for my life to be simple. And he took away the ability for these moments in the last 4 months to be enriching. And if I hit him, I would be taking away the last thing that I have that I can control, is trying to be peaceful. And that had a lot to do with it. That had a whole lot to do with it. Like, you guys, some of you know that I've been to combat before. Like, violence is something that I have done more than I ever want. I just don't want to experience it anymore. So I want my life to be peaceful. And so that moral is why he is in jail and not a hospital. What's up, Dean? Chris Monk is still blowing my mind. I lived with Spyder and Shannon for 6 months. When they were at the Internet Cafe Slab, their kids called me their Canadian cousin. Yes, they do. And Chris, we haven't forgotten about you. We hope to see you again, man. Like, if you can make it down here sometime or whatever, like, it would be great to see you again, Chris. So miss you. I miss you, man. What's up, Nemo? How did you hold in the anger over it all? I saw at the end how upset you were and how happy you were that he was in jail. I don't think I could be that cool-headed. How did I hold in the anger? I have no idea. Maybe I just explained that a little bit. I'm not sure, but it was the most difficult moment, like, to be face-to-face with him, knowing that I could fucking seriously hurt him. I could, and I don't think I'd even feel bad. And how did I hold in my anger? I didn't hold in my anger. I held in my rage. But I was mad, and he knew I was mad. So I had to keep it a little calm also, because I wanted him to open up to me. Because the more evidence that he opens his mouth and says, the better it is for the case if he decides to plead not guilty, which he did plead not guilty through his attorney, and he's got a $5 million bond, but I suspect that he's going to plea out. I really do. Fact check, Shannon wants the bus back. Yeah, Shannon wants the bus back. I think we know where it's at. I think it's there's somebody in Bombay Beach, if I'm not mistaken, that has the bus. So yeah, maybe there is a way that we can get that bus back. I'm not exactly sure. I don't even know if it's in Bombay Beach still. We thought for a while it had been impounded, but apparently, it was spotted. So you said you called on your military training for this. Is it something you would do again if a stranger asked you to help them with the same situation? Not likely. Not likely. I hope I never have to do something like this again. I have a weak heart, you guys. Like, I don't have a strong heart. Like, I've had 2 heart attacks. It's, I don't know how much time I got left. This kind of stress isn't good for me. It's really not good for me. I want my life to be peaceful and simple and enriching. And I don't think that I would want to ever go through something like this again. I know that maybe people would like to see that or whatever. Like, and even I've thought about it. It's not like I haven't thought about it. Like, dude, that was so fulfilling that I hope maybe I should do something like that. I don't know, but yeah, of course I had to call upon my military training because, and I don't think that I needed that to make this happen, but it gave me a bit of confidence that I could operate off of no fucking sleep and shitty food, and here's my mission, stay on mission, Charlie Mike. Keep your head on a swivel. Like, I almost got carjacked. You guys saw I almost got fucking carjacked during that. So, it's, I don't know if I ever want to go through something like that again. I'll be completely honest with you. But yeah, that's good. That's a good question. Let me go ahead and scroll back up. Is this Spyder from Oregon? I just want to know if it's my same Spyder. No, it is not. He's not from Oregon. He is from Rhode Island. He's never been to Oregon as far as I know. Just want to say I've been in a similar situation, so I know how horrible the whole thing is. I'm proud of you and how you're handling it. Now, I honestly don't know if I'm handling it well. Like, it's just, after court, when he got his $5 million bond, and it was like, oh, thank God, it was such a relief. His victim was there, you know, very emotional, obviously. First time they've heard his voice and since he left, and it's yeah, it was that night. I just got so emotional, just so emotional over the whole thing that I just started crying, and it was his ex-wife who's sitting there hugging me, and like, just this whole thing sucks. It sucks. But I'm glad that, you know, I'm glad that it ended the way it did. You know, that is such a blessing. I've experienced finding out a few friends are sex offenders, and it's crazy how fast everything comes crashing down. It's sad, but the respect you once had for them just goes. And it's like they actually died. So, yeah. Oh, man. They did die. Like, the person you thought they were, not only did they die, but they never existed. You were tricked. You were fooled. You know, that person never existed. You don't even know who this person is anymore. And like, it was so heartbreaking to me. I had a heart attack. I got Air Life to Santa Fe. You guys can go back into my old videos and see I had a heart attack. Almost fucking died because this hurt me so bad. And it still hurts me. Like, thankfully I'm on meds right now, but it still hurts me. Mission focused. Yeah, Dave, mission focused. I know I'm behind on comments for a lot, but that was hands down the greatest hug I've ever seen. Kat Cobb, yeah, she was there. She watched that hug. Jungle Jim, 11 Bravo, I know you can do it. Thanks, Jim. Thank you. I honestly, every time I had a doubt, I just shoved it back down. I just shoved it back into the bag. Who's looking after you now? You've done this incredible, notable thing. It's clearly taken so much from you, both emotionally and physically. You seem exhausted. I hope you're okay. Thank you, Sequini. I appreciate that. That's a very nice thing to say. Who's looking after me now? Well, I have Zag, and she's amazing. I have some really, really good friends of mine that are surrounding us right now. Like, we have a really good support system, and I have no problems talking about this with my friends and about how I'm feeling about it, and they understand. And, you know, I have good people around me, so, you know, it's really nice to know that the friends I have are there. You know, we're all there for each other because we fucking love each other, because we eat meals together and wake up and drink coffee in the mornings. And, you know, they've seen me go through so much. They've seen me go through so much over the years, and they've been there for me. And like, we're family. Like, this is my family. Like, I've always felt like that. How is Zag? Come here. Come here, Zag. She's right here. She's right here. How far would she be? I had to leave her behind for the trip to Sacramento, which, that was hard to do. But, again, I left her with my family, so they took really good care of her. Please express to the victim that myself and my wife, also a survivor, are proud she found her voice. She is an inspiration. My God, like that, you know, she's my fucking hero. And I've told her this. I told her this long before this ever went, you know, before I found Spyder. Like, as soon as this happened, I've just reminded her so many times that she is my hero, because she absolutely is. I have told her I've been to combat before, and I've never had to be as brave as she was. I've never had to be as strong or as brave as she continues to be every single day. And, you know, like, she is my hero. I absolutely look up to her, which is why when I see me, like, starting to get emotional about things, and she comes home and she's smiling and happy to see us, and I'm like, why am I even fucking sad? Like, if she can put on a smile, if she can keep putting on a smile, then so can I. But these are the comments that I'm getting right here, is that, hey, I'm a survivor, and I really appreciate what you did. Hey, I'm a survivor. This happened to me. And you guys have opened up to me, and I think that's beautiful that I could do that for you guys too. I hope that you know that this is not okay, and that people don't think it's okay. Like, it's an awful thing to have happen. Breaks my fucking heart that so many dozens of people. It shouldn't be this common. It shouldn't be. The world's fucking ugly, and we all know that, but it shouldn't be this ugly. If I can give you a hug, Zig, I would. Thank you. Thank you, Stuck in Paradise. Yeah, I agree, Zig. One big fake facade. I really feel for you, dude. I've seen the heart attack video. Wishing you some health and wellness. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dean. I know a lot of you guys have stuck with me through a lot. You know, my health and my travels and through all of this. So I appreciate YouTube so much. This has been you guys have enriched my life, and I appreciate that. This is a good community. I'm a victim of assault too, so it brings very much joy knowing somebody will never hurt another person. You know, and that's what I told his victim. Like, as soon as she said something, and I'm like, you're my hero, because you're protecting somebody else who's never gonna know your name. They're never gonna know what you did, but if he doesn't get stopped, then he might hurt someone else. And what she's doing is protecting that person. She is somebody's hero who doesn't even know that what she did for them. And I think that mattered to her. I think knowing that she's protecting other people is giving her strength too. But Spyder's a monster. I didn't like him from the beginning. I knew he was shady as I knew Spyder was flawed, but once I got to know him a little bit, he had redeeming qualities that I appreciated. And his family, I fell in love with his family too. Like, it wasn't just him, it was the Ponderosa. I had been at the Ponderosa long before Spyder ever took it over. This is my 9th winter in Slabs, and it's been at the Ponderosa the whole time. Before Spyder had it, George had it. It was George's camp. George named it. He started the Airbnb and then eventually sold it. But he had some redeeming qualities. I thought he did, and I knew he wasn't like the greatest guy in the world. But some of the things he did, I respected. So I understand why a lot of people didn't like him. I understood that completely. He did things I didn't like all the time, but I was also one of the only people who could sit his ass down and being like, you're being inappropriate, you're being rude, you're fucking up, dude. And I was one of the only people that I think he would listen to. And so, God, I'm so happy it was me who found him, because I got to sit him down and do it again for the last time. The last thing I'll ever do for him is not hurt him. Has the local news not tried to have you on to tell the story? It's a great story with the best ending. No, they haven't reached out to me, and I probably wouldn't do that. Like, this has already been so much of a spectacle, and part of that is my fault, because I do have a YouTube channel. Other people have a YouTube channel. It's already been such a spectacle. It's upsetting. It's upsetting, not just me, but the family. So, no, I'm not going to make a big thing of this. I'm not going to go on the fucking news. I'm not going to, I don't know. This is probably the last time I'm seriously going to sit down and talk with anybody publicly about it. I'm giving you guys the video that I went and found him and how that went. I'm giving you guys this live stream so I can answer some questions, but my channel isn't about this, you guys. This isn't what my channel is about, and I don't want it to be about this. I want it to be back to the normal, regular scheduled programming that I always do, and give you guys stories from the slabs, or maybe camp tours, or my adventures. So yeah, don't expect this to be something that my channel is going to become, because it's not. And I have 61 people in here right now, and I know it's because of this drama. And my channel is not going to become about this, and I appreciate everyone watching, and I appreciate your views. If you want to see what my channel is about, go back for the last year and see what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to get back to. So Zig, leaving Zag behind for that trip to California or to Sacramento had to be extremely hard. I could not go a day without my babies. It was hard, but it was worth it. Zags was in good hands, and she babysits herself. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Thanks, Nomadic Rat Pack. You should never blame yourself for seeing the good in people. Yeah, thanks, good job, buddy. I appreciate that. And I don't blame myself for seeing the good in him. I don't blame myself for not knowing. I hope that none of our community members are blaming themselves at all. And I know it's so easy to do. I've come close a few times, like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. Damn it, how did I not know? And it's not our fault for not knowing. It's not our fault. Anybody who thinks it is needs to get their head examined on why they would blame the victims in this situation, because that has happened. Somebody today shook my hand to say thanks, and then right afterwards was like, you guys would have known if you were paying attention. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that I'm trying to like block the family from, but I'm still hearing it. People blaming us for this. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna blame the victim, you are as disgusting as Spyder. I mean that 100%. If you have any way, shape, or form are gonna blame me, blame the family for not seeing it, you're as bad as Spyder. Period. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Coming from neighbors, too. Sorry, I'm gonna get worked up, but... What's up, everyone? I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch the Spyder takedown. Glad I finally caught the live stream. Misty face. Hello, Angel. Good to see you again. I know you can appreciate that other victims who see this video may be inspired to speak up. That's powerful. Yeah, it's hard for victims to speak up. And maybe when they finally do, it's way too late. The person's dead, or they don't know where they are, or whatever the situation is. There's no evidence, so it feels like it's a waste of time. If you don't want to speak up, that's perfectly okay. Nothing you do, if you are a victim, if you're a survivor, nothing you do moving forward is wrong. But if you are struggling emotionally, you need to get some help. Like, please see a therapist. Please see somebody who can help you process the emotions. And you don't have to make it public in order to find your voice. To find your voice, you just need to sit down with somebody and get some help. And I know that it's so easy for survivors to get caught up in blaming themselves or addiction or whatever the self-destructive behavior is because this happened to them and it was traumatic, and it's not fair and it's hard to process. So if there's anyone out there going through that, like, this little 14-year-old girl found her voice, please find your voice and please take care of yourself, because you didn't deserve that. You didn't do anything wrong, and you still haven't. But make sure you're taking care of your mental health, because it's a hard thing to process, and I know it has to be. I've never had to experience anything like that, but I know it's so easy to take on all the blame, to blame yourself, and to soak it in and just suffer with it and sit on it. And that's not a healthy way of processing it, and that's, you're continuing to get victimized. So I hope that those of you who are out there who have dealt with this, because so many of you reach out to me, like, find your voice. Find your voice. You got this. You're way stronger than you give yourself credit for, because you're still here. Like, you're killing it already. So find your voice, and if you have, then inspire others to do it, because you're the only ones who can. Spyder did have a good set of redeeming qualities. I never would have imagined he'd do something like this. He'd always be one of the first people to publicly stand up for his morals. And Chris, this is coming from someone who knew him too. Like Chris and I both, I know you, Chris. You know me. Um, you know what I saw in him too. You know, and this is shocking to you, I'm sure. You seem like a true empath. Take the weight of the world and injustices on your shoulder, which is a wonderful thing to feel so passionately, but it's also extremely hard draining. I just don't like bullies. I don't like bullies. Bullies hurt my feelings. And for someone I cared about so much, dude, it was so gut-wrenching, you know. I prefer your usual content anyways. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, because that is the content that I prefer sharing. More positivity, more love, more adventures, more good stuff. Like this last 4 months has been not who I am. My life is not full of drama like this usually. That's not how I operate. But Spyder took that from me, and he took that from a lot of people. So that was the best video I've seen of Slab City yet. I watched it a bunch, and I really do hope that, you know, people talk about slab justice a lot and this and that, and you know what that looks like when they're here in slabs. And he escaped it. He escaped slab justice. He knew what was coming for him if he stayed, which is why he got Babylon justice. That's why he got Babylon justice. And that might have been the smartest fucking thing he did, is take off. Because if he had stayed, I don't know what would have happened, to be honest with you. It's comforting knowing there's still people like you who take victims seriously. 100%. Like, I think that there's more than just me out there. I think there's way more than just me out there. I think there's tons of people who take the victims seriously. And I think it's actually getting better. As new generations come up and these conversations are happening so much more often. Victims are finding the voice. The Me Too movement, women are finding their voice. Like, I don't think that I'm unique. I shouldn't fucking be, but I don't think I am. I think that most people would take the victim seriously. Of course, there's some who don't. There's some who, for whatever their reasons, don't, can't, won't. We've seen it. We've seen it on our YouTube community. You know who they are, who don't take it seriously. But, you know, I think that most people do. Zig, it's been 3 years. I've been trying to get out of Oregon and get down to the area you're in. Something keeps coming up every year. Soon, my friend, we will meet up. I hope so, Rat Pack. Safe travels to you. I'm a guy, and my much older cousin victimized me when I was 10. Something like that takes away a piece of you that you never get back. It takes away all your trust in people. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I'm sorry, but you may never get that back. That trust in people, and that's not fair either. Not just to you, but the people who do deserve your trust. Like, it does take something from you, and I know that intellectually. I went through some abusive stuff when I was a kid too, you know, and I was in foster care and in boys' homes, but never anything like that, you know. It was physical, it was emotional, verbal. So I know it took something from me back then, and I've never been traumatized like that. So, you know, I'm so sorry that happened to you, Mark. Jeff Erickson Jr. Hey, buddy, what's up? Hey, you guys, that guy, Erickson Jr., him and I served together in the military. We were both infantrymen together. He also has earned himself a CIB. You know, that he's one of my brothers, and it's good to see you, Jeff. I'm gonna have to make it a point to come see you when I go up to Oregon, man. I really miss you, dude. Yo, was he in South Sac? No, he was in West Sac. He was in West Sacramento. I live in Sac, and it looks like he was Elk Grove from looking at the background of your video. Well, he was staying in West Sacramento. He was working at the 49ers Cafe and the Pilot right there. It was actually technically in the county that he was, let's see, it was west, kind of northwest. And it was the deputies, the sheriffs that came and scooped him up because we were just outside over the river. So Going back into lurker mode. Thanks for speaking up. It's good to see you. You don't have to lurk. You're very welcome here. As you can see, the people in my chat rooms are usually pretty good folks. If Spyder had stayed, would you have tried to protect him from the violence, call the police, or would you have turned your back? I would have absolutely turned my back. 100%. Yeah. I wouldn't even have, let the outlaws do the outlaw shit. I'm not an outlaw. I'm limited by my morals on what I can and cannot do. And other people have different morals than me. And, there's a lot of people in Slabs I don't think that I'll ever be close to. But on this, like, here's a great example. Waterboy. Waterboy is not somebody I'll ever be close with. Him and I have different morals. We operate differently, but on this, him and I see eye to eye 100%. Him and I have spoken, we've hugged, like, I respect him because he knows why. he looks out for this family too, and I can't do some of that outlaw shit. But if he had gotten slab justice, I would have turned my back 100%. It is what it is. You hurt me like that, like, I will go down fighting with you if you're my people. If you're my friend, I don't care how many people we're up against. Like, you're my boy. We're doing this together then. But I've never lost a friend immediately before. Immediately. As soon as I found out. In less than a nanosecond. Gone. I'm not going down with you. We're not fighting back to back. I'm a part of the crowd now coming after you. And that makes me sad. I hate losing friends. But I don't keep friends like that. I don't keep friends like that. As soon as I found out there was no, oh, but maybe this, or maybe he's lying, or the victim's lying, and maybe blah, 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 like some other YouTubers did. No, I believed the victim immediately. I didn't have to ask any other questions. Like, happened to me, my sister, and rapists should burn in hell. Yeah, in this life, not the next. We're all waiting for Caveman's video and update on his love life. And whether or not you were going to sell your truck. Obviously, I'm still in my truck. I had to put that on hold for all this. I am leaving for Quartzsite next month to sell my truck, finally. But yes, that has to be a priority very soon because I'm underwater and I need to get out from under this truck. This is such an anchor right now, and I'm just sick of it. So that is my next priority, is getting my truck sold. So anyone looking for a pickup, you know where I'm at. What's up, Shed Gang? Good to see you, dude. Good job, Zig. Now get some rest and take care of yourself. Thanks, guys. I am going to end this live stream here pretty soon so I can go take care of Chili Night. I'm bartending tonight, and we're hoping to get a good turnout. So for those of you at the Ponderosa right now, I'll see you soon. Never expected this when I saw the Bottle Kids video. Yeah, me neither. Jesus. Like, I hope to do more Bottle Kids content, but trying to get the kids to do anything is like herding cats. And now they got an Xbox. Sorry, they have an Xbox. So it's even harder to try to get them to go do anything outside. You guys know how kids are. Tim, he's gonna catch hell in prison. Yeah. I mean, we all know that. This is such a small community. I think that he's probably not going to have a good time while he's in county either. I don't want to go too far into that, but I mean, I don't want that. I never wanted that for him, but now it's like I said, it's the outlaw shit. I'm turning my back. He doesn't deserve my sympathy, and he doesn't deserve any of ours. He made his bed, so let him fucking lay in it. Love your effort in this vigilante journey. Treat yourself well and get out when it's too much. Don't stress yourself out. Yeah, the stress is there, man. Like, this is just a stressful time for all of us. And I think that all of us are handling it really well. I think that we got some more stressful times ahead of us because now we have a court case. And that has very, very little to do with me, but my people, they're gonna be stressed out. And I don't know, I'll just keep being their friend. Cause I fucking love them so much, that whole family. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and hide that comment. We're not gonna show that one. Looks like I need to pull the Starlink out. Yeah, the internet there is kind of slow, isn't it? And he left his old lady high and dry, from what others are saying on YouTube. Yeah, as soon as the allegations come out, obviously it's a lot of shock, and it was him immediately just running. He got in his bus and drove away in the family home with, yeah, everybody high and dry. But his ex-wife is fucking killing it. Ponderosa's doing better than it ever has in years. And it's for sale, by the way, for anyone who is interested in running an Airbnb in Slab City. Ponderosa's available. There's like $50,000 worth of lumber built onto that place. It's got a shower, it's got a bathroom, it's got a functioning business. So, take that for what you guys want. Cheers to you, battle. Stone sober 4 years, but raising a metaphorical glass. Take care. Congratulations on your sobriety, Mike. Later, everyone. Can't wait for the chili. Bye, Mac. Yeah, Jeff, you know his label. 100%. Hey, you, good to see you. You're good and healthy right now. And that Zag is doing good. Honestly, pretty happy you were the one to catch him too. Miss all of y'all and have a good chilly night. Some really important people and some people I know very, very well, know Spyder very well, have said it to me 100 times. Like, I'm glad it was you. I'm glad it was you. I'm glad it was you. And I'm glad it was too. Like, if anyone, I was the one person that always had his back, even through his flaws. The flaws I saw. Like, the flaws I knew he had, because we're all flawed, like, I always had his back because he had mine, and that's just sucks. Your channel overall is very entertaining to me. It's going from sublime to ridiculous, and it's your journey. I've been watching for about 6 months or so, and you never fail to keep my attention. Hey, thanks, dude. Yeah, hope to just keep you guys entertained the way that I normally do. This is not what my channel is going to be about. Again, this is probably the last time I will talk about this in depth on my channel, because it's just too much of a spectacle. It hurts me too much. It hurts the family too much. So my part in this spectacle is just going to be over, and I can't control what other people do. If they need to steal my clout, or if they need to stir drama for their because their channels are suffering, knock themselves out. But for me, I'm gonna be bringing you guys nomadic zig, not to catch a predator shit. Like, that isn't who I want to be. So, holy shit, I don't know if you heard that, but the military just let off a big old boom. That was enormous. You guys got me for another 2 minutes. So, yeah, I'm gonna, exactly, Erickson. I'm gonna move forward, bro. And we're gonna, yeah, I just want my channel to be more positivity, you guys. Like, I want this to be enriching for all of us, but especially for me. Sorry if that's selfish, but I'm not doing this for y'all. Like, this isn't, like, I'm glad that I could entertain you guys, and I'm glad that, this has been enriching for me, and it's been enriching for a lot of you, but this is for me. And so I'm going to keep doing it the way I want to do it, and I hope to bring you guys along with my journey. I'm glad that so many of you can live vicariously through me, and I really, really am I'm glad I could give this gift to the family, to his victim, because she's my fucking hero. She's my hero, and she always will be. I love that family so fucking much. They've become my family because I really don't have much of family. So they most amazing group of people I know. So I feel like just so grateful that I have them in my life. I love you too, Casey. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, guys. Feel free to donate. Some of you have during my live stream. I got, about $30, so I appreciate that. If you guys want to catch some of my next videos coming out soon, I've got some plans spiraling out right now. Pretty soon I'll be headed to a couple of places that I'm gonna bring y'all to. So keep your eye out for that. Love y'all. Take care of each other, and remember to have miles of smiles.